everyone, it's been a long time since I've had to do a voiceover, and I'm always a touch awkward when I have to get on mic anyways, but consider this your welcome to this new channel. Today I'm going to be creating 2 characters for my Monster Girls series, so if you have any suggestions for other creatures I should draw, then I'd love to hear. Anyways, on with the art! So I started off this drawing wanting to create a classic pixie character, kind of like your standard Tinkerbell green dress type, but more of a trickster. That got completely derailed though when I decided to stream my process. Terrible decision really. Chat and I ended up liking a completely different design and color scheme than I originally imagined, so that led into creating 2 elemental pixies of ice and flame. I first started with their color schemes, which I tried to pair together, although now I don't feel like they match up as well as I originally concepted, unfortunately. First up is the Ice Pixie, and for my general pixie concept, I got inspired by some old unused sketches I had done for my comic. I kept their eyes rather bug-like and added horns, a tail, and long ears to distinguish them from your run-of-the-mill fairies. I kept her costume rather simple and form-fitted, kind of like a bodysuit. I tried to make it look like ice crystals, which I do throw a flat pop art texture over to help emphasize a bit. One of my chatters also gave her the name Rhyme, which I think is pretty darn cute. And if you have any similar poetry, music / fire pun names for the other pixie, I would love to hear it because I've googled a lot of stuff and honestly I'm stumped. I do think her hair kind of looks like a flame, which is how I partially got the idea for the fire pixie in the first place. And in hindsight, it would have made a lot more sense to use the red color scheme here. But I like the ice pixie so much that I really don't regret the inconsistency. I think it would be cool if it was moving water that got frozen into place, but I don't know. I decided to approach my normal painting style a bit differently than I normally would. I started by painting in the lights right over top of the flats using an add layer. I think this gave me a better idea of how I wanted both pieces to be lit as I went into the painting stage, and also gave me the idea to make the ice pixie's skin look slightly glittery, which I really ended up liking. So here I'm just finishing up painting the skin, which for me has always taken the longest. I always divide my painting up by sections, and I don't worry too much about staying inside the lines. I just end up cleaning it up using wand selections, clipping masks, and an eraser if I really need to. But for the most part, it works fairly well and I don't have to stress too much. So this is the first Monster Girl drawing I've done in a while, and the reason for that is because it's kind of like my comfort zone art series. I pick it up when I want and don't worry about producing a ton of content for it. I feel like a lot of people can relate, but sometimes it's nice to sit down and draw something that you'd naturally gravitate towards and not have to think too hard about it. Hence how I ended up drawing a pretty girl with wings. As with all my Monster Girl drawings, I try to keep the focus on the character design. I do more abstract backgrounds with themes relating to the character's element. In more recent editions, I've changed to doing more detailed lighting and painting alongside the character. It makes me really want to go back and redo some of the simpler ones. Still, I'd like to at least get it through a few more classic creatures before I start fiddling with old designs. I started sketching in the wings here, but a few months back I had made a pair of ice-themed wings for a small side project, which I ended up using here instead. They're supposed to look slightly tattered, and they also have small snowflake designs near the tips, which I really ended up liking. Overall, I think they really suit her, so I'm glad it happened to have them on hand. Here I'm just finishing up the background, polishing any small details that I haven't gotten to yet, adding topography, and then we get to the glow, which is by far my favorite part. I think those final glow dodge and color dodge layers really pull my artwork together. Just that final touch, you know? So here is the finished Ice Pixie. I really like how she came out, and I adore how shiny she is. I had way too much fun painting that, and I think it shows. Okay, now on to the Fire Pixie. So I found this design came a lot less naturally to me, and while I do like her a lot, I think my original inspiration didn't quite translate with the new silhouette. I decided to have her face forward to parallel the Ice Pixie and give her more soft swirly patterns in her design, rather than the harsh crystals that her sister has. Besides the general traits I chose for my pixies, like eyes, ears, and horns, the two are meant to look like opposites while still matching each other, kind of like two sides of the same coin. I have done a pair from my Monster Girls series before with my unicorn and centaur characters, but I'd never undertaken an opposite challenge like this, so I'm not sure how well they fit as a duo. I would definitely do something similar to this again, but I think I'll wait so as not to sacrifice my sanity again so quickly. I ended up using a lot of gradients in her outfit and her hair, which made the shading process a bit more difficult down the line. I do like the effect it gave, but I can't help feeling like it kind of looks like an ice skater costume or something. I also think I really regret the blue because it didn't translate into hot fire as much as I wanted to, and it kind of looks out of place to me. I don't know. So, the main reason I wanted to make a new YouTube channel was because unfortunately I had created my old one with an account that is my business email. I made it a few years ago and I didn't realize at the time that that is a very bad idea for account security. I figured since I just had under 100 subs and not any videos I really liked all that much anyways, it'd probably be better just to switch, just in case it ever became an issue down the line. Am I a little paranoid? Probably, but I'm glad I made the switch. Now I'm just finishing up the painting and correcting some of those swirl designs. I really like the Sailor Moon style tiara I gave her too. I think it makes her design look a bit more unique. After all the multiply shading and background stuff, I think her more pink color scheme was lost sadly. I find the red makes her look a bit more like a demon than a fire pixie elemental, but the wings do help with that, so. With her wings, I tried to do them with a symmetry ruler at first, but ended up just freehanding them instead, and I think they look way more organic. The design and pose really didn't benefit from that technique anyways, so the change didn't matter too much in the long run. Here I'm just finishing up the background, which I used a fireball brush I got off Clip Studio Assets for. Also adding in my signature glow and whatnot just to make the whole thing pop. Overall, I think they turned out pretty cute, but the Ice Pixie is definitely my favorite. Her design just feels a lot more cohesive. I'm not sure how well they work as companion characters just with how drastically different their color schemes are, but I'm not mad at it. I had a lot of fun with these too. If you have any other ideas for Monster Girls I should draw, then feel free to tell me in the comments. I also stream 3 days a week on Twitch if you want to hurl your ideas at me there. Thanks so much for watching, and maybe shoot me a sub if you'd like to see more art and character design content from me. Anyways, have a great day everyone.